Hi, everybody. Welcome to Big Game Bound, the Big Game Edition. Today, we preview Super Bowl 54, the 49ers and the Chiefs. They meet in Miami on Sunday on the 2nd of February. This year, the game will be televised by Fox. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman will be on the call. We are going to start with our Big Game Bound correspondents, Rob Collins in Kansas City, Mark Carpenter in San Francisco. First, gentlemen, thanks for all your great insight all season long. You've been great. Rob, I want to start with you first because the Chiefs fans have been waiting 50 years for this. If you've watched the show, you know Rob has a knack for pulling out some interesting comparisons. Rob, what's it like in Chiefs Kingdom this week?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing in Chiefs Kingdom. I got to tell you, it was absolutely amazing being on that field, watching the confetti fall onto grown men with tears in their eyes because the Chiefs, after 50 years of Super Bowl futility, finally put the Lamar Hunt Trophy back in its rightful resting place. The moment was unmitigated euphoria on the field, kind of like in Christmas Vacation when Clark Griswold finally got those lights to work on the house. There was a brief second of bewilderment, followed by the realization that the Chiefs are headed back to the Super Bowl. And then, of course, Travis Kelce starts singing the Beastie Boys, and everyone went nuts. A party indeed.
I can't wait for this tight end matchup. Mark, we'll go to you now. 49ers fans only had to wait 7 years to play in the big game, but there were some tough years there. Will Kyle Shanahan ever have to buy a drink again in that city?
Well, I'll say this. A lot of 49er fans admire what Kyle Shanahan has done, and if you were to go out into the city, I think you'll get a few rounds comped, all right? But I think eventually he may have to end up paying because this is a franchise that's used to winning the Super Bowls, not just getting there. There's a lot of success back in the day with Jim Harbaugh, the 3 straight NFC title games, but they never won during that span, and it has been so refreshing for 49ers fans to see what Kyle Shanahan has been able to do with this team, especially in a short amount of time. They really like what he's done. They really like the direction. Now, the 49er faithful just want him to get over that hump and get this franchise's its 6th world championship.
All right, I want to unleash you guys on each other. Don't feel like you have to, predict your home team wins here, but who is going to win Super Bowl 54 and why? Rob, you get the first shot.
If I didn't predict the Chiefs, Frank Clark would form tackle me from this side of the studio right here, man. Well, the Chiefs have a healthy Patrick Mahomes. That's why they're going to win. They also have a trio of track stars at wide receiver. They'll get more attention than all the Midwesterners in their shorts sporting pasty legs and sandals on South Beach. Tyreek Hill boldly proclaimed last week no secondary unit or linebacker unit could guard them. He's right. You throw Travis Kelce in there, who leads the Chiefs in receiving yards. It's impossible to keep this offense in check. The Chiefs have rolled up 86 points in 2 playoff games, albeit some of those points are out of necessity. They can score a myriad of ways at light speed if need be, but they can also put together a 7-minute scoring drive to keep the opponent's offense on the bench. Unlike last season, it's not all about the offense now. The defense has been dominant for a stretch. They were the #1 defense in all of football to end the regular season. They've rocketed up to number 8 against the pass, and much like the much talked about 49er defense, Chiefs are only allowing about 19 points a game. This defense not getting enough credit this year, especially of what Steve Spagnuolo has done, changing it to a 4-3. They've been absolutely brilliant of late. These dudes are aggressive. They like to hit. They're led by the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones, and Frank Clark. I mean, both sides of the ball are complementary. They're complementary to each other for a long time. I haven't had that here in Kansas City. That's why I think they win it. Mark, what do you think?
I still think it's too early to make a prediction, and this is really a confusing matchup because earlier in the NFC rounds for this 49ers team, you can see, okay, well, they can get after Kirk Cousins. They already ran through Green Bay. Kansas City poses an entirely different dynamic. And I'll say this, though. The 49ers will win this game if they are able to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. You look at the first 2 rounds in the playoffs, all right? They ran the ball 47 times against the Minnesota Vikings. That vaunted Vikings defense. Oh, wow, they're so good at slowing down defenses. And then last week against Green Bay, Jimmy Garoppolo only has to throw the ball 8 times. This is a 49ers team that knows how to muscle down the clock throughout the entire game, knows how to keep opposing offenses off the field, and we have seen all season how San Francisco has been able to beat teams in a variety of ways. All right, is it going to be a Jimmy Garoppolo to George Kittle game? Is it going to be a game where Deebo Samuel's making plays, Emmanuel Sanders, or is it going to be Raheem Mostert, all right, who's setting records in championship games, all right? This was a guy guy that wasn't even the team's starting running back when the season started. And so I just feel that 49ers offense is so versatile, and if the 49ers defense, which, I mean, has been stellar all year long, is able to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field, right? Have him go 3 and out over and over, this will be a 49ers victory.
All right, Rob, we just heard about the running backs there in that situation. Well, all the talk in the AFC Championship game leading in centered around Derrick Henry, 3 straight games of 180 yards. He did that a bunch against some of the best defenses. Chiefs held him to 69 yards on 19 carries. How'd they keep Henry in check? Can they do that to the 49ers running game, which has been unbelievable during the playoffs, as Mark pointed out?
Yeah, maybe a little harder against the 49ers because of that 3-headed monster. But regarding Henry, the Chiefs basically put their superhero costumes on and attacked Henry like the Avengers did him. Thanos, man, they hit him from every single angle, hit him low, hit him hard, hit him often. Defensive end Frank Clark talked all week leading up to the game how Henry wasn't hard to tackle, how he thought Henry didn't run hard enough. Well, Clark proved to be prophetic as the Chiefs, as you said, limited him to only 69 yards rushing, 7 total yards in the second half. Now, I can't repeat on here what Frank Clark said after the game about stopping Derrick Henry, but go ahead and look it up on social media. Just make sure your kids and your church pastor aren't around when you do.
Mark, the 49ers defense, #1 in the league against the pass in the regular season. That's kind of the strength of Kansas City here. Any reason to think that they can make Mahomes look human?
Oh, yeah, because this is a San Francisco defense that's healthy now, all right? I mean, all season long, we're talking about all these significant injuries for the 49ers. No Quan Alexander, the secondary's banged up, but the heart of this 49ers defense is its pass rush, all right? They are so quick. They have first-rounders across the board. Nick Bosa, DeForest Buckner, Armstead. You got a healthy D Ford now, Quan Alexander, and also the secondary. You see what Richard Sherman was able to do, making always big plays, and, you know, they're getting healthier, and this is the most complete unit that the 49ers have been all season long, all right? They have looked sharp, but here's the X factor. Although the 49ers are a fast defense, and, you know, KC has done well against past defenses, especially against the New England Patriots earlier this year, I do feel that the 49ers defense has yet to see a player like Patrick Mahomes, all right? Yes, Russell Wilson gave them challenges. Yes, Lamar Jackson gave them challenges. Drew Brees gave them challenges in New Orleans, all right? But Mahomes is a complete package, and it almost seems, and Rob, if you can confirm this, it almost seems as if Mahomes has taken his play to another level. He heard all the Lamar Jackson MVP chatter throughout the season, the best quarterback in the league right now. What Mahomes has done in this postseason is something that is unbelievable. 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I just can't really wait to see how the 49ers defense deals with Mahomes because he's a dual threat guy and he can make big plays. But Mahomes against the speed of the Niners defense is going to be fascinating to look at.
Yeah, Mark, that's the key. I think the 49ers have to keep him in the pocket because what we saw him do last week, that 27-yard magical run, he can use his legs now. Mahomes 100% healthy, and we forget sometimes how good of a runner he really is, but he has 106 rushing yards, a touchdown on the ground. So if those guys get too far in the pass rush, the screen game will come alive for Kansas City, and that's just another way this team will beat the 49ers.
Rob, how does that pass rush have the Chiefs' attention, though? I mean, that has to.
Yeah, most definitely. We all know here that the 49ers probably have the best front 7 in football, and you've seen exactly what they can do. Those guys on the end are beasts. It's going to be a great matchup to watch Nick Bosa against Mitchell Schwartz to keep Patrick Mahomes clean. They keep him clean. They keep him upright. He's going to light it up.
All right, guys, let's talk about this coaching matchup. The young genius Kyle Shanahan against the old genius Andy Reid. Mark, you first. Who's got the advantage?
I would say this, all right, all season long going into the year, all right, all the talk was about how Sean McVay is some brilliant play caller, all right, but what Kyle Shanahan has done throughout this entire year has shown that he is one of the game's brightest young minds, all right? This guy is a genius. How many times have we seen this season 3rd and 8 situations for the 49ers, and they go and rip off a 30-yard gain, all right? It's almost as if the 49ers prefer to have the ball backed up on their own end zone, the way Kyle Shanahan is able to scheme scheme plays and all of that. I mean, you hear the stories about these players. Raheem Mostert, I go back to him, the fact that he was cut by 6 different teams. What is Kyle Shanahan able to do and, develop this guy? He turns him into an NFC Championship legend with setting records, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns. What he's turned George Kittle into, okay? 43 catches at Iowa. He turns into a superstar. He makes him an all-pro. And the thing about Kyle Shanahan, too, is all this talk about how quarterbacks are, pivotal to your success in this league. Who's your quarterback? Who's the guy throwing the rock out there? Jimmy Garoppolo, he's only throwing the ball 8 times, and, what Kyle Shanahan has shown all year long is how he's able to diagram and game plan in a variety of ways, all right? Is it going to be Kyle Juszczyk making plays, the fullback, all the way down the field? Is it going to be George Kittle who will catch 1 pass, but he's making all these run blocks, all right? Is it going to be Deebo Samuel off the edge coming on the end around? And so Kyle Shanahan is extremely innovative, and if he's had 2 games already where they ran the ball 47 times, Garoppolo's only throwing it 8 times, he's going to be breaking out a lot of tricks and a lot of good stuff for the Super Bowl.
Rob, go ahead. Who do you like?
Yeah, to go back to the quarterbacks real quick. Now, if you were playing fantasy football or you were a GM to start an NFL team, which would you rather have, Mahomes, or would you rather have Jimmy Garoppolo?
I'm taking Mahomes.
Well, I'd have to take the Kyle Shanahan game planning there, okay?
I see. All right, they're going to let you live there in San Francisco with that answer. Yeah, Mahomes, and that's Andy Reid's got the biggest star in the league right now who can do everything. But most of the talk coming around these coaches, they're going to be talked about for letting a Super Bowl ring slide away from their hands as we get closer to the game. Coach Reid's confusing choices back with the Eagles, Shanahan's meltdown as offensive coordinator with Atlanta. I have to go with Coach Reid on this one. Let's be real. Chiefs lost the AFC Championship game last year because of Bob Sutton's inability to adapt to the Patriots, and because that dude that plays for San Francisco now, Dee Ford, lined up off sides. Can't put that on Coach Reid. Also, Andy Reid's had a bye week to get ready. He's 18-3 in the regular season, following a bye, 4-2 in the playoffs following a bye. I got to tell you, though, guys, there's an omnipresent feeling of urgency in that Chiefs locker room to win this one for Coach Reid. He's not getting any younger. Travis Kelce said it best last week of the mic drop moment. He walked up to the podium and told us the goal is simply not getting there, it's winning, and he left.
All right, Rob, Patrick Mahomes is due a pay raise. How much is he going to get? How much is that going to cost the Chiefs? And what kind of an impact will it have on this team going forward if he does not give them a Brady discount?
Yeah, for sure. No doubt in my mind, Patrick Mahomes will be the first $200 million man in the NFL. I don't think he's going to give him that Brady discount on this one. Maybe the next contract, but not this one. This is the one where he's going to set his grandchildren up for life. But, the Chiefs can't give him a massive signing bonus, maybe $75, $85 million. They can partially defer it. They already have the running backs under contract. Mecole Hardman's on a rookie deal. Tyreek Hill is under contract. Travis Kelce is under contract. Tyrann Mathieu is under contract. Frank Clark is under contract. Two still in question right now after they pay Mahomes, Chris Jones, Sammy Watkins. I could foresee a franchise tag for Jones and letting Sammy Watkins go after this season. But, they're going to get a little extra pay boost with the new TV contracts and the CBA extension. So, you can't keep everybody, but we've seen what Brett Veach has been able to do so far, and nothing leads me to believe that Mahomes will be without suitable weapons to hopefully get back to future Super Bowls for the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, Rob Collins, Mark Carpenter, want to thank you guys for all your great work all season long. And, look forward to this Super Bowl. It should be a very entertaining one.
Yeah, indeed. And, Mark, when the Chiefs win, don't be sending me rice-a-roni, man. Get a good bottle of vino, okay?
Let's bring in our NFL analyst, Ty Halleck, now. He played 7 seasons in the NFL with the Bears, the Lions, and the Jaguars. And, Ty, you came close to getting into a Super Bowl with the Jags. I remember that old commercial, the Klondike commercial. What would you give for a Klondike bar? What would you have given for a chance to play in this game?
I tell you, having gone through the experience, Super Bowl's the pinnacle. I don't know if there's anything worse getting close and not being able to go other than probably going and not winning. It's something that it's everything that you work for in the National Football League. So for us, we had a great run in Jacksonville. We went out and beat Denver, quite frankly, the first year that Denver should have probably won the Super Bowl back then. And then we went and we beat Buffalo and Buffalo, Denver and Denver, and then we played New England in New England. And that was really the closest game, and that's the year that those guys, if you recall, then went on to play Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers, along with and the whole group of the first kind of initial Brett Favre mystique deal. But, you know, we almost got there, and the Carolina Panthers almost got there. So 2 of the expansion teams 2 years in almost got there. But as a player, extremely disappointed. But just as disappointing to get that far as it is to get in the first round, that, you know, whether it was the Lions, whoever, just getting in and knowing you have a shot and not getting there is very, very tough.
Years after your career, how crazy is it to look back and know that you shared a field with Elway and Favre and just some of the legends of the games, guys that are in that Hall of Fame?
I think every year that you've kind of gone through and moved away from how special it was then, it continues to be, especially when you're seeing guys going into the Hall of Fame, having played with guys like Barry Sanders, who's just absolutely incredible, one of the top 10 players of all time. And again, arguably and I'm biased, the best running back I ever was around. Now, he would tell you somebody different, but the reality of it is, yeah, those experiences, those opportunities, they're very, very special.
All right, your top 5, we've shown it all year long, and you've had the 49ers right near the top all year long, and you've had the Chiefs from day one in that top 5, maybe dropped out once when Mahomes was hurt. But who do you like in this game?
You know, I really like the Kansas City Chiefs, and it goes week to week, but when you watch, I think overall, I think the best season has been the San Francisco 49ers. I think they're young. I think they're talented. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a good, solid quarterback. But what makes you wonder this last game, the way they ran the ball so much and ran for 220 yards and they didn't use Garoppolo as much, what are they going to do against Kansas City? Kansas City, mind you, was looking at a running back who would run 180 yards plus for the couple weeks before, and they shut him down very, very well. And then you add Patrick Mahomes, to me, one of the best players in the National Football League, and one of those guys that just amazes you because of just the raw athletic talent. But he's also obviously a student of the game and very, very mindful of the mental side and preparation side of the game. You just see it. You can't be that creative and not know kind of what's going on, how plays are designed, and how your players are going to react to certain situations unless you put yourself in that, but do a ton of study as well. So he's an unbelievable player, and that's the edge that I think I give the Kansas City Chiefs going into the Super Bowl. But I see this as very close.
Yeah, so, you know, Kyle Shanahan has this reputation as a genius play caller, and you think of that. You think of somebody who's going to be throwing the ball over the field. They threw 8 passes in the NFC Championship game and just gashed the Green Bay defense with that running game. Do you expect the same kind of thing? And can the Chiefs, you know, what they did, we saw what they did to Henry, can they do the same thing to that 49er offense if they come out and run like they did?
I wouldn't have thought of that, you know, going into this particular week. And quite frankly, of the upsets that you saw, you kind of felt like it would be the Tennessee Titans upsetting the Chiefs because of the way their defenses played than it would have been with the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. I think the Chiefs can, because they did it with, in my mind, a better running back and a better line, maybe by margins, but the running back for sure. I mean, at 6'3", 250 pounds, that's a big difference between him and Mostert, who's a little bit more of a scat guy, but still very good. The one thing you like about Kyle Shanahan is Kyle Shanahan hasn't fallen far from the tree. I mean, Mike Shanahan, if you remember back in the days of Denver Bronco football and when they did really well with Davis and those running backs, was just that. It's angle blocking, it's down, and around, it's pinch and pull. There's a lot of things where you're creating angles and giving the running backs those opportunities and lanes, and that's exactly what Kyle Shanahan has done with this offense.
Now, would you be surprised if he came out slinging it? And if they get into one of those, if they fall behind early to Kansas City, and they've got to rely on Garoppolo, are they in trouble, or can Garoppolo handle that if it becomes Garoppolo versus Mahomes?
Well, I think if it's Garoppolo versus Mahomes, I think there is a problem, because I think Patrick Mahomes has showed over and over again he can sling it, create points. And look, they were down 24-0 against the Texans, for goodness sakes. They were down against Tennessee out of the gates, 17-7. He doesn't shy away from it. He continues to lead, and I think that's part of the most impressive part about Mahomes is he's going to the sideline and going, guys, we got this. We got to settle down. We got to execute. And remember, we've talked about it for the last few weeks. He's got several options and has the ability to get it to them on timing routes, and he's got the ability to get to them by moving his feet, getting out of the pocket, and delivering the football. I think Patrick Mahomes versus Garoppolo, there is a pretty good discrepancy there. And if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, I definitely want to run the football, and you'll probably see that early because you don't want to. You want to limit the opportunities that Kansas City has to have the ball. But if you get into a situation where you're trailing 12, 14 points, whatever that case may be, and you're San Francisco, I think you're in some trouble.
All right, put your GM hat on for a second, Ty, and you can steal any player off any roster in the league. Is Mahomes the guy? Because if I'm doing this, if I'm the GM that's building, that's the guy I'm stealing.
I think you're 100% right, Jack. I mean, there's really no mystery about it. Every football team starts with a quarterback. It's the reason why they get paid the way they do. And this kid at 23, 24 years old, young, future, the whole deal. Again, it's not just his physical attributes. He definitely has the strong arm. He's got good feet. He can run. He has this innate ability to figure out plays when they're broken, but he does because he understands his offense. The guy's a guy that watches a ton of film, is studying plays. He works well with his coaches. Everything you hear about this guy speaks intelligence on the football field and off the football field, all while applying some superior athletic ability in his arm and his feet that he's shown consistently over the time. There's a lot of good football players out there, but I think any NFL GM would certainly start right now, today, with Patrick Mahomes.
All right, so you've got a very young coach who's been around the game all his life with Shanahan, and then you got Andy Reid, who the only thing missing from that resume is that Super Bowl championship. Second team he's taken to the Super Bowl. Coaching matchup advantage who?
I think the advantage really is Reid. He's had the experience. I also think, though, the advantage for Shanahan really is less pressure than what Reid has. Mm-hmm. Reid has been there. He's been in and around it. He's come up short. Now he's there. It's the one thing that he doesn't have that would really kind of complete his career in terms of coaching. And I'm not suggesting he's leaving by any means. I think he's still younger and wants to coach football. But that Super Bowl ring is hard to come by and hard to get to. If you're Kyle Shanahan, you got to believe with this young, talented San Francisco 49er team and a good, solid quarterback, he's probably going to get another time or two potentially. Mm-hmm. At least another time it appears to be. He'll have shots in the next couple of years. Andy Reid, it's how many times are you going to get that? And it's shown over the course of years he's gotten it, but it's a long time ago before he got back again with this Kansas City Chiefs team. So I think Andy Reid has it from an experience level. I think from a pressure level, though, he's a little bit of at a disadvantage because he's really going to harbor a lot of that.
All right, so this is our 21st show we've done. I think we've had Ty in studio for 20 of them. So Ty, thanks for all your great expertise and analysis all year long. Really appreciate it.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a blast.
Great.
All right, hopefully you've enjoyed Big Game Bound all season long. Starting next week, we are going big, live from South Beach. Big Game Bound live. I'll be with Jarrett Payton from WGN in Chicago from just outside of Hard Rock Stadium. We'll be streaming live every day, Monday through Super Bowl Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Again, join us for live. We've got some great guests lined up, some Hall of Famers. So join us 1 o'clock every day on Big Game Bound. All right, thanks for joining us for this edition and all season long. Can't wait to see you live from Miami and the Super Bowl. We'll see you again on Monday.